First Chronicles 16, verse 8 onwards. Give praise to the Lord, proclaim his name, make known among the nations what he has done. Sing to him, sing praise to him. Tell of his wonderful acts. Glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always. Remember the wonders he has done, his miracles and the judgments he pronounced. You, his servants, the descendants of Israel, his chosen one, the children of Jacob, he is the Lord our God. He remembers his covenant forever. The promise he made for 1,000 generations, the covenant he made with Abraham, the oath he swore to Isaac, and all this. So I just want to pick up the exuberant, worshipful expression and just worship of David, King David. You see, this is an incident of they brought the ark of God. This is First Chronicles 16, verse 1. They brought the ark of God and set it inside the tent that David had pitched for it, and they presented burnt offerings and fellowship offerings before God. While all this is done, David appointed people to worship God and all this, and then check this out. He said, give praise to the Lord, proclaim his name. This is all worship and praise. Now, verse 11, okay, verse 10 is a transition from worship to seeking God. That's what I want to talk about. Glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. And look to the Lord and his strength and seek his face always. Now, this is very, very important. Seek his presence continually or seek his face. It's okay to praise and worship. We all go to church once a week, basically on Sunday morning, and to worship the Lord together. That lasts for about 15 minutes, most 20 minutes. Then after that, you the liturgical, the prayer, and also the sermon, etc. All these are great stuff. But it said, let the hearts, because David said, glory in his holy name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. So if you seek the Lord, you rejoice. You may not feel rejoicing. Usually when people seek the Lord, they have some issues in their lives, and they spend time seeking the Lord. Okay, there's some need to cry out to God. Seeking the Lord doesn't necessarily always mean crying out to God in need, but just seeking God for a direction, for example, which in my case, which a lot of people are seeking God for opening of door, for the gospel to come to start work, praying for revival. I know that certain churches in Manhattan, for example, they go strong in prayer, So I just want that to be cultivated within my own life. And I also want to tell the folks on my TikTok and the YouTube that the Bible says, first, we need to know that there is glory in God, in God's name. And that because it is glorious, and therefore when we seek the Lord of glory, our heart rejoices. You see that? Because when we see the glory of God, we bow down and worship. Our hearts filled with joy. So it all goes together. If you haven't experienced the great deeds of God, then you cannot give thanks to God. But actually, theologically, you should give thanks to the Lord, even if you haven't seen any answered prayers or anything of this, because they're coming. You don't just give thanks when things are doing good. You give thanks regardless. So I'm just saying, it's so important to cultivate that, to really put our hearts and mind that God is glorious. And because his glory, when we sing and worship God, we rejoice. There's Sunday corporate worship, etc. But more importantly, it's a glory because God is glorious. Whether you feel it or not, see it or not, because it's glory, when you seek the Lord, you rejoice. Your hearts will automatically rejoice. Why? Because verse 11 says, seek the Lord and his strength. And seek his presence continually. NIV says, seek his face continually. Seek his presence. Presence is a very charismatic term. So we want the presence of God. We seek the presence of God. So when you have this kind of seeking heart, that's driven because God is glorious. You're on the right track and things going to happen. All right. This is 5 minutes. So I got to do video 2.